we're going to get started. Yep. We'll get started with Coach Mullen. Players will come in momentarily. Coach, we'll start with an opening statement from you and then take questions.
That was exhausting. I'll tell you what, though, I really love the way that our guys continued to battle, continued to compete, continue to try to find a way to win for the entire 4 quarters. You know, I mean, we go back and we talk about how we want our plan to win and how we want to win games. We certainly didn't do that tonight with turning the ball over, with not scoring touchdowns when we get down in the red zone, some critical penalties at critical times. You know, we had some missed tackles. But I'm going to tell you what, our guys compete. They competed and they competed and they kept competing and kept battling. And it seemed like we had to win the game about 4 different times. But we continued to do that. And so I'm really proud of that. You know, I think it goes a lot to the work our guys put in over the summer, the conditioning, what, you know, Nick Savage and his staff does to get our guys ready to continue to play all the way through the end that way.
All right. If you raise your hand, we'll get some questions up here in the front.
Coach, how would you describe what you saw out of Felipe today?
Well, you know what? I was pleased with a bunch of stuff with him. You know, one of the things he knows we're going to put the game in his hand, and there's some things, some teachable moments in there, and some things he can continue to learn. But I think he knows we have the confidence in him to make plays. And you know what? One of the things I kept seeing from him is, you know, even if things didn't go right, you know, we made a mistake, he came right back firing. You know what I mean? There wasn't the hesitation. There wasn't any concern or lack of confidence in him and what he was going to do. You know, and I was really pleased in that. You know, last interception, he gets hit, you know, and you know, I'm trying to think that shows what we're trying to do. I mean, I'm going to try to, you know, I'm putting the game in his hands, we thought we had something there. We didn't. He gets hit. He was trying to throw it away. He gets hit. Ball kind of floats and gets picked. And, boy, that's on me. No, the other one, taking a shot down the middle, throws one high, gets picked down the middle, comes right back, though. His next pass is a strike for a huge play. And I think that shows his maturity and how he's continued to come back and grown in this offseason to just play the next play. Let's go.
Back on the left, Matt.
Yeah, can you kind of elaborate on that? I mean, his ability to rebound from that, would he have been able to do that last year after a pick like that?
I don't know if I would have put him in that situation last year, you know, so hard for me to say. I don't know if I did that, but I think it shows the confidence we have him in the play make, you know, and his ability and our wideouts. You know, we trust those guys. We have some good senior wideouts, some veteran guys that we trust out there on the field, and you know, when we needed those guys to make plays, you know, and you know, one of the things I think that'll always for us this year, if you look. That'll go unheralded is I don't know if any one of our individual receivers is going to put up huge stats, but collectively they're going to put up big numbers. Collectively, you know, I mean, the one biggest plays of the game, our starting receiver made one of the biggest plays of the game, recovering a punt on special teams. You know, that was our leading returning receiver, and this is his first time playing on punt because they're a veteran group that really understands what it takes to win football games. You know, and they've bought into that, and that's not only going to help us here now, but I'm sure it's going to help those guys to play football for a long time.
Over on the right, Edgar.
What did you think of the resiliency of the defense? I mean, tough start, kind of shaky second quarter.
Yeah. You know what I loved is we made some mistakes. I mean, we made a couple of mistakes. We missed some tackles. But played, you know, just kept going. Just kept going, just kept playing, just kept straining, just kept going as hard as they could every single snap. Todd, I think, and the staff did a great job making some adjustments at halftime, cleaning some things up, putting us in a good position. You know, and they never flinched, you know, when things didn't go well for us. And that seemed to be whether we were missing tackles, whether, you know, we're getting penalties to give them first downs at key moments of the game. And, you know, I mean, they kept battling, they kept going, and we kept finding a way to win. And you know, in the end, that's what you know. That's what you got to do. You know, I mean, in the end, they'll remember. Well, I know. Hope everybody remembers. It was a fun game to be a part of. You know what I mean? It was a wild game to be a part of. It certainly reminded everybody college football's back, and it looks like we're in for another exciting season after 150 years. It hasn't dulled at all. But there's a lot we can learn from that game, and a lot we can get cleaned up defensively. But you know, we can get that coached. We can be better coaching. We can get them coached better, get the players to play better, it's hard to coach that effort, that strain, and that desire to find a way to win. That's hard to coach, and they showed they had that tonight.
End of the game, though.
Crazy.
Were you kind of going crazy on the sidelines? It was one penalty after another.
Nah, it was really. I was looking for like a hot dog. I was trying to oh no, I must say, it honestly felt like there was like that clock, like one of those guys, right? Like, I mean, I felt like the clock maybe. My life clock was going probably at about 1,000 times faster, right? I mean, every second was probably like 1,000 minutes for days. I don't know. I must have, in the last 5 minutes of the game, I think I aged like 10 years. It felt like.
We'll go in the middle, straight down the middle.
Dan, did you kind of feel like you were channeling your inner Les Miles with the fourth down calls? I mean, that kind of reminded of LSU at 2007.
Yeah, you know what? There were situations and within the game that we felt, and that, you know, we felt we had a good play call, and we had veteran players, you know, and so I didn't mind putting the ball in their hands to let them go make those plays, and they were able to do it. I didn't think any of them were real high risk. I mean, they kind of seem high risk, but for us, we felt pretty good with those calls, and there wasn't any question or doubt in what we were going to do.
Seemed to have a lot of momentum going, and then you have consecutive turnovers, and the rest of the half just goes flat after that.
Yeah, it was. You know, I mean, we didn't run many plays. You know, I think they did a good job of we did a good job of keeping their offense on the field by turning the ball over. And by some critical penalties at key times. But, you know, we didn't run that many plays. Let's see. We ran 54 plays, you know. That's really not that many. Time of possession, you know, we had the ball for 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. So I do think that. You know, and some of the turnovers, you look at the turnovers, you know, especially the first two. They didn't do anything except, I guess, fall on the ball, and after 3 of our guys didn't fall on it, you know, and to create those turnovers. That was a little bit frustrating, you know, and I think, you know, we're very fortunate also, too, in that. Like I said, if you look at our plan to win, you look at turnovers, you look at red zone scoring, and I don't know that we hit those goals per se, but our guys found a way to win, and that's what's most important.
Back over on the right, Andy.
Dan, following up on that fourth down question, before the punt that Scott dropped and Van recovered,
yeah,
you had a 4th and short really similar to the ones you'd already converted. How much thought was there into going for that?
I think just different situations that you're in the game and where you're at and where the momentum of the game is. And, you know, I mean, there's a thought to go for it there, but there's also the thought of, okay, we have a little bit momentum right now. Defense has come out and started. We made some adjustments at halftime that we feel good about. Let's put a young quarterback back to the wall. And, it just so happens we go make a big play and create a turnover right then and go in and score.
Over here on the left.
Coach, Melissa Thomas with Florida National News. Kind of talk about Tony's performance tonight, what you saw out of him.
Well, you know, I've always said when he has the ball in his hand, something exciting is going to happen. He lived up to that today, right? You know, I mean, he had like a long touchdown run. He had an interesting kickoff return. He had a minus. It was only -6. He was running around for a while. But exciting stuff happens, you know, when you put the ball in his hands. You know, the thing I think about him that I'm really pleased with, though, as you watch is, you know, it's not just his performance. Hey, we're going to get you the ball and great things happen. You know, his growth and development as an every down player. I think that's one of the things I'm really pleased with him. And, you know, and I think that's something we're going to continue. You're going to continue to see all year. We're going to put the ball in his hands, let exciting things happen. But the thing that's most exciting to me is him becoming an every down player for us.
Chris on the right.
Coach, back to the defense a little bit. 11 sacks tonight, I think, total. What did you see that allowed you that kind of penetration?
Well, you know, I mean, you look, they have a young quarterback and a young offensive line. We have some veteran guys up front on defense. And we, you know, we kept the pressure on them. You know, and kept the pressure on them. And then, you know, at the end of the game situation, you know, kind of force where, you know, they're having to throw the ball a little bit. We can get after them. But I do think, I mean, that showed some of the effort, the strain, some of those guys. He was scrambling around on some of those sacks. And, I mean, our guys, I mean, if we put if we did the distance tracker on some of our D-line, they put in some miles tonight chasing him around. I think that was huge. That's a lot of them were, great efforts up front, and we beat guys, and a lot of them were effort sacks of us going to get at, continue to strain to the ball.
Back in the middle.
You mentioned the mileage tracker. Just about the Miami quarterback, Jaron Williams, the freshman. Just your thoughts. You've obviously coached and developed a lot of great young quarterbacks.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I thought Dan did a good job of putting him in position, especially early in the game with some quick throws. I think his first 6 throws were all, I think, behind the line of scrimmage, or I don't even know if they caught 1 or 2 yards down the field. Just some quick throws, get him some rhythm, get him some confidence. I thought Dan did a good job of mixing that up, and I think you can see why I think he won the job for him. He did a good job with their system, making plays within their system, managing within their system, and I think you look what Manny's doing. He's got their program headed in the right direction.
2 more for Coach right up front.
Coach, obviously you emphasized all 3 phases of the game in special teams, for you to call the fake punt, for you to get that muff, and then for them to miss that kick. How critical were those moments in deciding the factor?
Well, I think it is so big, and it's something that we stress so much within our team, and I think it's such a great lesson for the young guys, because you're looking at the guys that made a lot of the plays on special teams. You're looking at a senior punter, you're looking at a senior starting wide receiver that's covering a punt, making plays, and I think that really shows a lot about the team. I think special teams, something that we take a lot of pride in. We stress a lot, we practice an awful lot. And I think when guys buy into that, and you start seeing the success of making big plays on special teams, really probably the turning point of the game, or some of the the special teams tonight.
Last one for Coach right up front.
Uh-oh.
Coach,
You gotta
right.
shut out. I'll let you take another one if you want.
You want to go first? Okay.
You got it, though. No, I'm not shutting you out, Cass. I mean,
Thank you, Dan.
everyone on a
Thank
daily,
you.
right?
Right, yeah.
Come on.
You hear more than you. I'm just kidding. One, was there any consideration at challenging the fumble recovery call with Malik Davis? And then 2, just John Grenard, his first game.
I really did think about it. I thought he had it. It was down. I mean, to be honestly, I thought he had the ball. He was on a knee, and he went to stand up and made a football move. Someone hit him, and the ball came out. Maybe, someone called. Maybe could have even been a late hit on that. Our ball in plus 15 yards, if someone calls, that way. I don't think that's one that you're in such a bang play that you're going to win. I don't know. You guys probably have better looks at it, but I'm guessing that would have been a called stands type of deal. Maybe not. But we'll turn it in, and I'll get an opinion from the officials. But that would be one I'd be nervous to call stands. I didn't want to use a challenge in that situation. I thought John played hard. Really excited about what he did for us.
I know Coach is in demand. We're going to pull Coach.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. We'll give Gene a quick question. You've been dying here. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. It kept everybody tuned in for sure all the way to the final whistle, right? It was crazy in the last drive. I think, I'm talking to Todd, but I think that's a lot of credit to Todd and a lot of credit to our defensive players. It kept seeming like we had to, we had to win the game 3 different times. We had to make the game-winning play 3 different times, and we were able to do that. And really proud of our guys for doing that. So.